An online course used to take hours, brainstorming ideas, writing scripts, recording, and editing. AI can help course creators do this entire process in minutes. If you're building an online course and want to learn how to create lessons faster with AI and the right tools, make sure to like and hit the subscribe button. The challenge is most creators know what they want to teach, but turning that idea into structured lessons takes time. And that slows down launching and or finishing your course. In this video, I will show you how course creators can use AI to generate the course outline, structure, video scripts, and edit their lessons in minutes. I am testing out an idea for a beginner Descript tutorial course, and normally what I would do before AI is open up a doc and do all this stuff. I prompted Underlord. When you're prompting AI, as many people have said before, when you're prompting AI, specificity and being very specific helps a lot. But for me, sometimes I'm just starting out, I'm brainstorming, so I'll get more specific as I go on. I said to Underlord, I want you to create a 5-module course on a beginner Descript tutorial online course. And so here's what they've said. They're going to write the script for me and generate some B-roll. They can assign AI voice, create scenes for each module, generate B-roll images. So they've mapped out the entire course for me. And so far I like what they've said. And now I want to give them a little bit more detail about what I want to include in my online course so that it's a little bit more specific and the output starts out with exactly what I'm looking for. And so I said, great. I also want you to include 3 lessons. I also want the first module to have a welcome lesson, introduction lesson, and a general best practices for completing the course. So now they have scripted out a lesson for a welcome lesson, what to expect, introduction to Descript, and best practices for completing the course. And they've given me the rest of the modules for the online course. And I said they will assign the AI voice and all this. I've mentioned before is that you want to be really discerning about AI credit usage. One of the things to note is that with the assign AI voice Libby and generating B-roll images, those are all AI as well. So before I go ahead and approve the plan, I want to review this because a lot of this is using AI credits, and I have to be very discerning about the number of AI credits that are being used, or else I'll end up with an unexpected large bill. As a reminder, studio sound, eye contact, and visual effects are all using AI credits. Also, the AI voice Libby, the text to speech, all is using AI, and then generating B-roll images. So that is also using the AI image model. These are all great ideas, but right now I want to just get the general outline going. So they've added the 3 lessons that I wanted them to include, and then they've given me the rest of the 5 modules. And then now I said, don't assign the AI voice yet because I want to review which voices and decide which one to use. And so they're going to skip the AI voice assignment so that I can choose it later. I don't want to just have them assign Libby until I've had the time to thoroughly review whether that is the best voice for the project. Now, I've also asked them to add B-roll placeholders throughout the entire course because, again, I don't want to generate the images yet. I just want to create the structure and the outline and the script. So this looks good for me. And then style direction is really key. This will help them understand the structure of the video. So these are all going to be like online course videos, so I'm going to keep them in landscape. If I were asking Underlord to make social clips for me, I could change the landscape to portrait, but I'm going to stick with landscape for now. And then this is really key. The tone is how they're going to script it out. Gives the AI more context. So I'm just going to keep it conversational. And the layout pack is really interesting. This is something that you can choose to customize later or customize right now. Now, if I don't like this black and white style, I can go ahead and choose other styles. There's a lot of different styles and colors and designs, and you can choose from any of these. I'm just going to use the default light one because the black one is a little dark. I can also go ahead later and create a custom layout and then save it to my drive. Let's just go with the light intro style layout pack. I'm just going to, once all these different settings look good, I'm going to click on apply changes. And then Underlord is thinking and brainstorming and customizing, and will generate this 5-module online course for me. Now they've scripted the online course. They've given me the outline, what the first lessons are, and then I'm saying, let's continue with this. Let's continue. And now Underlord will apply this directly to the project, and now I have an entire project created. Then after this is done, we can go into editing and publishing. And after this is built out, then we can review this course, and then if we like it, we can generate AI video, AI voice, and then decide whether to use stock media B-roll or generative AI B-roll. That is part of the fun of letting Underlord build your course in minutes. You do have to be patient. What they've done, I'm going to expand this. Underlord has scripted and built out my entire online course. What I can do is review this and edit it and change words or change styles. This is where I should add some B-roll or images. I've broken the original 40 minutes into shorter 5-minute videos. It's a little bit more easier for the students. I'm going to add the media later. What I can do is ask Underlord to make my course a little bit more engaging and descriptive, and ask Underlord to add text box overlays in the first scene. So you can see that they've added the title, they've given me a placeholder for the media, but what I want to do is just be a little bit more specific with the heading, and so I can then style this and adjust it the way I like. I can then continue to say, make the text color navy blue and add a border to the text box, just so that I can have a very visual distinction between the title and then the text overlay. And let's just see what Underlord comes up with. They've given me another text box overlay where I can continue to then add by instructor name, and this helps me refine the project a little further. The last thing that's left for me to do is to change the layout and then add B-roll footage and or media. After this is all done, the next thing is to export, and this is where I can export it to the web. I can send it to YouTube, or I can export it to my hard drive and Google Drive. And then they've added other text box for my instructor name. This is the title in each course, and what I can do is, if I know what the 2nd through lesson 9 topics are going to be, I can say change the title in scenes 2 through 9 to reflect the content. I don't want to just say beginner Descript tutorial. I just want to say change the title in the scenes 2 through 9 to reflect the content script. And then I'm gonna let Underlord do that. And so the more you get specific with Underlord, the more they can get this project polished and finished and ready for you. And then after Underlord does its magic, you can see it's reading and it's thinking. And then the most important thing is exporting. The export is really important. You can export the entire project, but what I recommend is exporting each scene individually, because that will help you. You can export the entire composition, or you can export the current selection or the current scene. Now, if I want to batch export, I'm going to have to upgrade. I highly recommend you batch upgrade so that you can batch export each individual scene, otherwise it will take a lot of time. And then once you batch export each individual scene, then you can just upload it to your platform of choice. I personally prefer Thinkific because I'm a Thinkific expert, but use whichever platform you want to use. But most of all, just you can do so much with Underlord. It's already scripted the entire 5-module course, and the first 3 lessons that I had mentioned earlier, and changed the title, added the text box overlays, and then the placeholder images. So now, as soon as I finish everything, and then after I add the AI speaker, this video is ready to go. Before we wrap up, let me answer 5 common questions I hear from course creators about using AI to create their online course. Question 1, can AI actually help design an effective and educational course? This is a tricky answer. AI can definitely help you, but remember, AI is not the primary expert. You are. And rather than using AI as your primary expert and brain, remember that AI is your second brain. And so as an educator, learning designer, and tech educator, AI is great for helping you brainstorm lesson objectives, structure your ideas, and create a first draft. For me, my biggest challenge is writing things very clearly, and so I can take my quiz question and what my thought is and where I'm thinking about the question in case it doesn't sound correct, and plug it into AI, and it's much more polished and much more succinct. That's really where the value is, polishing it up. Because remember, you are the expert, I am the designer and educator, and I'm the one who wants to teach and walk my students through these concepts. And I want to remember that I am the expert and not the AI. And AI is really helping me speed up my workflow and reduce the time I spend on tasks so that I can focus on teaching and delivering better quality experiences to my students. Question 2, will using AI make my course feel less personal or less engaging? AI is meant to help you speed up your workflow, and it actually can help you make your course more engaging and impactful. One of the things that I most often talk about is that learning is about helping people to master and get to the next level. And AI is helping you save time and help you think outside the box. This is my favorite example, is whereas you may ask AI to create a video with a script, your goal is not just to ask AI to create it, but to think, am I teaching this in the right way with AI? Is there something that can make this more effective video? Maybe I add some text boxes to summarize the concepts. I think about like quiz questions with videos and images so that it's more dynamic. And so AI can help you jot your brain, and AI can poke your brain and say, oh, how else can I make that more effective? How else can this lesson come alive? How else can I help my students learn this? So you can use AI and say, I have this video, and I think the video has a good script, but it's very passive and I want to make it engaging. And so how can I add another layer to this video so that the students are retaining this knowledge? And so that's what AI is really good for. I can say, oh, have you considered this? Have you considered that? And they can do it for you. Question 3, do I need to record every lesson myself, or can I use AI voices? As an educator, I firmly believe that we all are human beings with a voice. No one's voice is perfect. Actors and actresses have a lot of voice training. They read scripts, they practice, and they rehearse. And so same thing with recording online course lessons. Depending on the subject matter, your voice is still important because that builds trust, it builds connection, it builds authenticity. Your voice is still important, and AI can help if you make a mistake, if you mispronounce a word or something didn't sound right. That's where when you clone your voice, then you let AI just replicate that specific word. And this is helpful if you're short on time and you don't want to re-record an entire sentence. This is where AI can regenerate and correct the words using the AI voice that you uploaded into the tool. This saves you time and headache Instead of re-recording the entire sentence because of a few words, you let AI fix that mistake so that you can focus on the next lesson. Question number 4, how much faster can AI make the course creation process? And this is where speed is everything because it's about time and money. And so if you use AI strategically, it can significantly speed up workflow. One of the examples I'd like to share is I'm building a simulation and it is about 15 slides, and what used to take a week can now take 2 days. I'm blown away because it knows the patterns, and so it can just templatize the general framework of my simulation. And then all I have to do is just continue to refine the text and to refine the design and layout. And that saves me so much time. And that means that I can do more with the extra time that I have. And what used to take a week is now taking like at most 2 days. The main thing is that AI is helping me brainstorm and I'm giving it the ideas and it's just generating the output for me. AI is your creative partner. It is not replacing you because you are human and no one can ever replace you. Question number 5 is the last question. How many AI credits does it usually take to create an online course? The amount of credits used inside Descript varies. They do give you guidelines, and so I would say when you're using Underlord, if you're just brainstorming, it doesn't use a lot of credits. But if you're generating like voiceovers and you're generating B-roll and you're generating images, then that uses a lot of AI credits. Since AI credits can add up really quickly, what I usually suggest people do is with creating an online course, just ask Underlord to create the outline and the framework, and don't generate any images, don't generate any B-roll, don't generate any audio because you're not ready yet. You're just in the initial planning phase. And maybe you decide you want to record your own audio. Then it doesn't make sense to use AI to generate all the stock voices. And so that is my recommendation, is that you use AI, that the AI credits have to be carefully monitored or else you can easily get an expensive bill. And that's the last thing anyone wants, is an expensive bill. But Descript is very forgiving and they understand that people are still learning and iterating. And so if you end up with a big bill, I would recommend you reach out and ask them to show you how you can manage your AI credits wisely. If this was helpful, give some feedback on how I can help you.